got some fresh images of 3I Atlas, a third ever interstellar object observed from Earth, currently racing through our solar system.
For any object in space, there are a few simple rules. Getting hit by the sun's radiation makes things break down, not build up. But 3I Atlas, a visitor from beyond our solar system, is breaking all the rules. After appearing to disintegrate, new findings championed by Avi Loeb show its central nucleus is now bigger than ever.
The reflection of sunlight is coming from a solid surface, in which case, as you pointed out, it could be as big as 40 kilometers, twice as big as Manhattan Island.
It's as if a shattered vase suddenly reassembled itself into a larger pot. This paradox has astronomers scrambling for answers, pointing to one terrifying possibility. The changes aren't random at all. The signal in the noise. You see, in space, things follow a predictable set of rules. When a comet gets close to a star, the heat and radiation cause its ice to vaporize, creating a beautiful tail. If it gets too close, the star's gravity can tear it to pieces. The object gets smaller, it breaks down, it fades away. That is the natural order of things. But 3I Atlas is not following the rules. In 2020, astronomers watched in real time as the object, then 73 million miles from Earth, began to fragment. Telescopes like Hubble captured images of it shedding pieces, seemingly falling apart as it neared the sun. The scientific community logged the event, classified it as a disintegrating comet, and essentially read its last rites. It was a fascinating but closed case. The thing nobody tells you is that Avi Loeb never stopped looking. He and his team at Harvard continued to analyze every scrap of data. Recently, they pointed the most powerful tool in human history, the James Webb Space Telescope, toward the last known trajectory of Atlas's remnants. What they found shouldn't be possible. The object's core, the main nucleus that was supposed to be a dead, tiny chunk of rock and ice, was reflecting an enormous amount of sunlight. To be this bright, the data suggested the object couldn't be a few hundred feet across. It would have to be nearly 9 miles in diameter. A 9-mile-wide object is not a fragment, it's a mountain. To put that in perspective, the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs was only about 6 miles wide. This data presents a paradox that has sent shockwaves through the astronomical community. How can an object that was visibly crumbling suddenly appear to be vastly larger? It's like watching a building get demolished and then, a year later, seeing a skyscraper standing where the rubble should be. The mainstream explanations are, to put it mildly, unsatisfying. Some suggest that the initial disintegration was just a dusting off, where a thick layer of dark cosmic dust was blown away, revealing a much larger, more reflective core underneath. Others argue that the early size estimates were simply wrong, but Avi Loeb offers a more radical explanation. He argues that the object isn't just revealing itself, it is actively changing. The increase in brightness isn't just a trick of the light, it's a physical transformation. Something is happening to 3I Atlas, something that is causing it to expand or reconfigure. Loeb's calculations suggest that for it to grow this much, it can't be a natural process. This isn't a comet shedding its skin. This is something else entirely. It's an object that is behaving in a way that suggests it is not a dead piece of rock. It's behaving as if it's under some form of control. This is where the story leaves the comfortable realm of astronomy and enters a far more unsettling territory. What could possibly make a dead object in space grow? The trail of clues, not alone. To understand why Loeb's new theory is so explosive, we have to look back at the history of these interstellar visitors. For centuries, we believed our solar system was a closed box. But in 2017, that box was broken wide open. That year, astronomers detected the first ever object confirmed to be from another star system. It was named Oumuamua, a Hawaiian word meaning scout. And from the very beginning, it was weird. It was shaped like a cigar, long and thin. It was tumbling end over end. And most strangely, as it swung past our sun, it sped up. It accelerated away as if something was pushing it, but there was no visible gas or dust trail to explain the push. This is where Avi Loeb first entered the international spotlight. While most astronomers tried to explain Oumuamua's acceleration with theories about hidden jets of hydrogen gas, Loeb made a stunning claim. He proposed that Oumuamua was not a natural object at all. He argued that its strange shape, its lack of a coma, and its mysterious acceleration were all consistent with it being a piece of alien technology. Specifically, he suggested it could be a light sail, a thin, lightweight craft pushed through space by the pressure of starlight, belonging to an extraterrestrial civilization. The idea was met with widespread skepticism and even ridicule from many in the scientific community. They accused Loeb of jumping to sensational conclusions. But now, with 3I Atlas, the second major interstellar visitor, behaving even more bizarrely, Loeb's earlier claims are starting to look less like wild speculation and more like the beginning of a pattern. The thing is, Atlas also had its own mysteries right from the start. When it first began to break up, scientists were puzzled. It was still very far from the sun, in a region of space so cold that the sun's heat shouldn't have been strong enough to cause such a violent disintegration. Furthermore, early analysis of the fragments it shed detected the unmistakable signature of metal, not just trace amounts, but significant pieces. This was highly unusual for a comet, which is supposed to be a dirty snowball of ice and dust. This is the crucial context for the latest discovery. We now have two interstellar objects in a row that have defied all our expectations. Oumuamua, the Scout, accelerated without a tail. And now 3I Atlas, the Destroyer, fell apart for no reason and then appeared to grow back bigger. For many people, one anomaly is a curiosity, two is a coincidence. But what if it's evidence? Evidence that the objects visiting us from deep space are not what they seem. The Scout, the Destroyer. What is the universe sending us? A deliberate act. So if 3I Atlas is not a natural comet, what is it? And what could be causing it to change its size? This is where we must venture into theories that push the boundaries of known science. Avi Loeb's central argument is that the change is deliberate. He proposes that 3I Atlas could be a self-assembling or reconfiguring probe. Imagine a piece of technology that was designed to travel for eons in a compact, dormant state, to conserve energy and protect itself from the harsh environment of interstellar space. Upon entering a new star system, our star system, it receives a signal or follows a pre-programmed command to wake up. The initial disintegration we witnessed might not have been a death throw at all. What if it was a deployment? The object could have been shedding an outer shell, a protective layer designed to burn off, while the core technology inside began to unfurl and assemble itself. Think of it like a satellite deploying its solar panels after reaching orbit. From a distance, it looks like it's breaking apart, but in reality, it's becoming operational. This assembly would explain the dramatic increase in its reflective surface area, making it appear to grow from a small fragment into a 9-mile-wide structure. The pieces we saw breaking off might have been individual, smaller probes, spreading out to survey our system. Another, even more fantastic theory is that 3I Atlas is a type of von Neumann probe. This is a hypothetical, self-replicating spacecraft that travels to distant star systems, finds raw materials like asteroids and comets, and uses those materials to build copies of itself. The process would be slow, taking thousands or millions of years. What if 3I Atlas is one of these probes, and its arrival in our system triggered its replication protocol? The apparent growth might be the machine gathering local dust and rock, using nanotechnology to build a new, larger structure around its original core. To put it mildly, this would mean we are witnessing an alien industrial process happening right on our cosmic doorstep. What many people overlook is the sheer scale of such a technology. An object that can rebuild or reconfigure itself over millions of miles of empty space demonstrates a level of engineering that is, for us, indistinguishable from magic. It would imply a civilization that has mastered physics at a level we can't even comprehend. It's a sobering thought that while we are still struggling to send humans to our own moon, another intelligence might be building 9-mile-wide structures in the cold darkness beyond Mars. The question is no longer just, what is it? The question has become, what is it doing? Is it building something or preparing for something else? Cosmic breadcrumbs. Let's step back and consider the implications of these theories. People watching this know that the universe is old, almost 14 billion years old. Human civilization, by contrast, is just a flicker, a few thousand years of recorded history. It's a timescale so vast it's almost impossible to comprehend. In that immense stretch of time, it's statistically almost certain that other intelligent life has risen, fallen, and left its mark on the galaxy long before we ever looked up at the stars. The galaxy might be filled with the ruins of dead empires, cosmic graveyards of civilizations that vanished eons ago. From this perspective, the objects passing through our solar system might not be active probes from a living civilization. They could be something far more profound, artifacts. They could be the cosmic equivalent of a message in a bottle, drifting through the ocean of space for us to find. One of the most mind-bending theories is that 3I Atlas is not a machine in the traditional sense, but a repository of information, a galactic library. The structure could be a massive organic or crystalline data storage device, and its growth could be the activation of its systems, preparing to transmit its knowledge. The thing is, this library wouldn't just contain boring scientific formulas. It could hold the soul of a species, its art, its music, its philosophy, its history of triumphs and failures. The growth we're seeing might be the object unfurling its pages, activating different sections of its memory. But what would it be transmitting, and to whom? This theory suggests the object isn't here for us specifically, but is part of a network of similar objects that seed the galaxy with the history and knowledge of long-dead civilizations. It's a way to achieve a kind of immortality, to ensure that your culture's art, science, and philosophy survive the death of your star. But not all things are what they seem, and there's a darker possibility. The changes to Atlas could be a warning. In the vast and potentially dangerous cosmos, a direct radio broadcast is like shouting in a dark forest. You don't know who or what might hear you. A more subtle way to communicate would be to send physical objects with unusual properties, objects designed to catch the attention of any emerging technological species. This warning might be about the Great Filter, the hypothetical barrier that stops civilizations from becoming interstellar. Perhaps the library's contents are a history of countless species that reached our level of technology and then destroyed themselves through war, climate collapse, or an out-of-control AI. The bizarre behavior of Oumuamua and Atlas could be a test. Are we smart enough to notice them? Are we advanced enough to understand that their physics are unnatural? And more importantly, are we wise enough to react with caution instead of aggression? The message might be a simple one. We were here. We are still here. And we are watching you. If this is true, what are we supposed to do? Our every move, from pointing the Webb telescope at it to the secret military programs undoubtedly tracking it, could be part of that test. Our reaction could determine whether we are seen as a mature species ready for contact or a dangerous primitive one that needs to be contained. Are we missing a key detail in the signals? For decades, we've been scanning the skies for radio waves, but maybe the real messages are written in the language of orbital mechanics and impossible physics. These objects force us to confront the possibility that we are not the primary actors in the cosmic drama. We may just be the audience, watching a play that started billions of years before we were born, and the final act is fast approaching. The story of 3I Atlas is no longer about a comet. It's about our own assumptions, our own loneliness in the universe, and the chilling possibility that we may not be as alone as we think. The silence from the stars might not be empty. It might just be listening, waiting to see what we do next. Avi Loeb's data suggests 3I Atlas is not a natural object. It's a mystery that challenges everything we know. Are we witnessing the arrival of ancient alien technology, or are we just seeing what we want to see? Like and subscribe for more.